Welcome to Cockatoos, with Cecil the cockatoo. I said your name, didn't I? Yeah? Oh, well. I have to say it once in a
Hello,
while,
hello.
Cecil. And Sugar half asleep, and Frightened Trouble, I mean Pippa. She did well. She made it about an hour and 15 minutes in here yesterday. Then I had to take her out. I had to put her in the straight jacket and take her out. Well, not really. I just had to watch her flap her wings and try to get away from me as I put her back in her cage. She decided she didn't want Lucy on my lap, so that poor innocent little thing sitting up there. She looks innocent, doesn't she? You're going to get a drop in that left eye of yours if you keep. There you go. Open it up. You mentioned eye, and she'll try to stretch it open, but she probably does need a drop in there today. Not the heavy duty stuff, just something to lubricate it a little bit. Doesn't lubricate properly, I don't think.
Gesundheit. I think my eyes have spotted Amanda.
Yeah, there's Amanda back there.
Yeah, hi Amanda. What a
Yeah, I know
peculiar.
this. I forgot to open the door earlier, so the humidity in here is not as high as the rest of the house. Once the air conditioning starts to really kick in, it'll get some humidity in here, but right, Sugar?
Bird making herself pretty.
Hi, Sugar Bird. Oh, okay. She immediately wants to get a beak petted. Yeah.
Pet a beak.
Oh, baby. Hey, baby. This is not something you want to do with every cockatoo in your world, that's for sure. She's already made it to me, so it's not going to make a problem. She also happens to be a Moluccan, and they're less likely to lay eggs or get over excited. But
So we have a lot of chatters today joining us already. So welcome Bapia Shah, Kristen and Khaleesi Cockatoo, Jem and Jamie, Calvin Thurston, Falcon Sue, and Pamela Johnson. So hello and welcome. Good to see you all.
yeah, I've got quite a flock that showed up with us, didn't we? Didn't we, Sugar? She's going
And
to
of
try to
course
hold
we have
this.
Eleanor here. She's moderating at the chat. So welcome, Eleanor.
Hi, Eleanor.
So let's see. Are there any
We're going to talk
messages?
about cause today, but and early warning signs, things to watch for. But she won't be in here because she did pretty well outside. But as far as in this room, she's like Bob. So. Pippa's more like the serial killer next door, the one that looks perfectly normal for a while, and then all of a sudden goes, "Ah, hi, I'm American Psycho. Watch me
Oh,
do my."
Pippa.
That's
She's like
Pippa.
more like Steve Jobs next door.
Yeah, well, most of the time she's calm, but once she gets it in her head that she's going to go up the deep end, she does. And are you trying to come over with Pippa sitting there? Hmm?
I'm not sure. There's another bird in between. Who is that?
Cecil.
Oh,
Pippa?
Cecil.
No.
Oh
Pippa?
no.
Pippa? No. Pippa? Pippa? No, don't you go. You go fine. Pippa.
Looks like we don't have such a relaxed episode today as we had last time.
Was it relaxed last time? I don't think so. What are you
Oh,
doing?
maybe it was last week. I'm not sure. Last time we had Cossy outside. Yeah, well, Pippa, all right, Pippa staged a little bit also last time.
You don't
Pippa
own
adds
the whole
surprise.
world, Pippa.
Gesundheit.
Yeah, I brought her in here and she started to sneezing. So, what? Are you out of your mind? Only a fool steps on thin ice twice. What are you doing? Yeah, I see her too. Ah, Pippa! Pippa! She might not make it the whole time. Pippa!
Yeah, especially with
Pippa,
Mander.
get over here. Pippa, come here. Ah. Good girl. Triton trouble. Can you say Triton trouble?
Yeah, that would be fun. Mander, he's coming again. Oh my god.
You know, common sense,
Actually, he's
Stuart.
asking for
Hey,
trouble. Oh.
he is. No, get that. Go away. No, that's dumb. Go away. Stop it. You're the one leaving.
Jasmine adds the soundtrack.
You know, you're really asking for it when you do that. I can't put you back in here.
Oh, Mander, I was so happy you were there now.
He can come out the second half, but right now that's...
So we can say hi to Bob. Hey, Bob.
It's a Bob.
It's a Bob.
It's a Bob.
Oh, it's a Bob. Yeah, let's say hi to all the other birds.
There's Romeo. Hi, Romeo.
Romeo. Yeah,
Because.
Hi, Quasi. Sweetheart.
Yeah, have to talk about there's a two. Yeah, the fly. She comes out later too. There's the fly.
A fly and a cuckoo.
A Laura fly. KK's out.
Oh, KK's out. I didn't know that.
He was sitting next to me. Yeah, you couldn't see him because he was sitting next to me. He's still in that spot. Yeah, I'm going to be mentioning using a certain.
Huh, Pippa, it wasn't your fault.
No, that's why she said.
The boy asked for it.
3 times in a row. I mean, she just doesn't get it sometimes. But he can be out with. He doesn't like being out with Snowball, but he will be out with Snowball. He won't run up to Snowball that way, that's for sure. But he's afraid of Snowball, and Snowball's never done anything. I have no idea
what he tried to do.
Snowball's never done anything to him. Snowball just watches him. You know? But some people don't like that. You know, that voyeur. It's like the one that says, "I know my neighbor's watching me. I can see her from my telescope." Yeah, I'm going to be mentioning a tool I use, and usually I just get kind of a deadpan response from it. But you know, if you can get to the vet every time your bird poops, if your vet lives next door and you can just take the poop over, or send a picture to your vet and your vet will respond right away, that's great. But if you can't, there is a tool you can use, and I strongly suggest you do. But we'll get into that. This is like when they first started bringing up the medicine for the mutilators and the feather destructive. You get a lot of flack. Well, I don't think there's a ton of reasons why you don't want to do something, but you can look at Sugar and see a good reason to do it. She's still with us, and she probably wouldn't be. she wouldn't look anything like she does today either, and wouldn't have all the self confidence she has. But anyway, what happened with Cause was I put her food in a few days ago, and she didn't rush right over to get to the sunflower seeds. So that was a big flag. That's another reason to put a little treat in that bowl, because normally if you put something they really like in there, they're going to run over to it and get that one little treat. So I saw that, and then I saw the same thing that night. And then when I weighed her the next day, she's usually right. When I say 424, that's where she sits, 424 grams. She might be a gram up or a gram down, but that's normal. Well, she was at 416, and that's not good. I mean, it's not bad, but so so the next day I'm watching, and she's at 410. Well, now we're going down into the 3% range, somewhere in there, and that's definitely not good. Okay, so when I say weigh your bird, that's what I'm saying, because it can go quickly. And if it went from 410 to 405 to 3, once you start getting down to the 300s, you may have a little difficulty getting the problem solved. So the first thing I did was take a picture of her poop, and then I turned it over to my trusty veterinary assistant, ChatGPT. And I always tell it to be vociferous, and it knows that about me, so it gives me all the details. It doesn't, if somebody doesn't understand the science of poopology, you don't really get it, then you can have it just give you a summary. But basically, what it saw is that there was probably some kind of the highest probability. There were several probabilities, like a vet would give you, but the highest probability is that there was something going on in her GI tract, and she wasn't processing food properly, so she lost her appetite due to it. So then we did some research, talking back and forth with the artificial intelligence back, and essentially what happened was that I had put a little bit. I eat oatmeal in the morning, okay? So she kept looking at it, so I let her try it. So for a couple of days, I was giving her a little bit of oatmeal. Well, she was eating that oatmeal. And the problem with oatmeal is, I mean, it's not bad for them per se, but if you give it to them regularly, it'll slow the GI tract down. So it right now it looks like, and looking at how the poop is improving according to the methodology that I worked out with ChatGPT, it's looking a lot better. She's getting KT exact. She's getting Pedialyte. So try to get that GI tract moving, right? She's also getting Flora. She's basically getting a probiotic that's built for birds, and so she gets that. She gets the Pedialyte 3 or 4 times a day. I also mix it in her water. I give her back her water bowl, even though she's drinking out of the bottle. I also figure that just making water more available will help. And then I'm also orally administering a 50-50 of Pedialyte and water to her, like 3 to 4 times a day. And now the feces, which had turned fairly dark, are starting to lighten up, and they're firm, but they're not clumpy. So it went from fairly dark feces, which was the main thing that you could see that was wrong with it. There were other things too, but it went from that to being lighter, to having a better shape, to now it's looking good. And I'm taking a picture of her poop 3 to 4 times a day. And ChatGPT created a chart for me that I just popped into my spreadsheet program, and then I put my notes in there. So yeah, I didn't even have to create the spreadsheet. I just let it do it. And it made sure that it had all the columns, so I wouldn't miss something. So it was when the first time I contacted ChatGPT about it, she was at a 3.3% weight loss, and now it's down to 2.5%. And this morning I was able to bring her up to 244 grams with KT Exact and KT Exact mixed with the probiotics, mixed with, instead of putting water in there, I put Pedialyte. So she's improving. She ran over to see her sunflower seeds last night and this morning, so she's interested in food again. Now, if you're not watching, then you might not see this stuff. I had also noticed, forgot to mention, I also noticed that I could tell what I do with her water bottles. No one told me to do this. I kind of figured it out on my own. Is I just take a grease pencil and mark. I change the water bottle every 2 days, but I mark on the side so I can see if they're drinking. And she drinks what usually looks like a half an inch of water every 4 hours or so from the water bottle. And I noticed that first morning she wasn't eating the sunflower seeds; that it was more like half of that amount. So there's another reason to use water bottles. How much is your bird drinking? You don't know if they're drinking out of a bowl. So, of course, if you got one that shakes the bottle, then I can't count that. Bob does that sometimes, but he drinks like he's drinking from a water fountain. So right now, I mean, if I had to get her to a vet, this Saturday would be the earliest in town. There is a vet. Again, I found this through uh, my personal spiritual practice and asking ChatGPT, because everybody told me there are no vets in your town. There's no vets here that do birds at all. Nobody will even talk to you about birds. Well, I found one that does house calls for birds, so don't believe what everybody tells you, right? Everybody who lives here, oh, no, no, there's no such thing. Well, I found one. So, and I had help. Sometimes you have to ask for help. I'm not the guy who, when he's lost, doesn't ask for directions. So, so she's looking better. Her attitude is better. Poop looks much better, and she's looks like she's on the road to recovery. And I'm pretty sure it was the oatmeal that started a GI tract problem. But she's also on Baytril. I have to keep. So bear with me while I
Gone?
do that.
Where have you gone? Oh, you're back. Great.
Online meeting. Da, 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 da. Here we go. I hope you can all still hear me after that. I get phone calls in and it often kills my microphone.
We can hear you. We just couldn't see
You
you
guys still
for a
hear
moment.
me?
Yeah.
Confidence isn't high. Hello, testing 1, 2, 3.
Hello.
Okay, just trying to make sure if you can hear me, Jess. I got a
Yeah,
stupid.
we can hear you fine.
Yeah, I got one of those spam phone calls in probably, but I will know later if they leave a message. If the message is between 25 and 40 seconds, it's almost always spam. So, what are you guys doing down there? You silly umbrella cockatoos. Hmm? Preening. So, always look for any abnormal behavior, especially with food. If they don't go for their favorite food, you best be checking things out. So we'll see where this goes, but for right now, it looks, it's on the upswing. This morning she was at 412, which is up 2 grams from the day before. So, in the morning is that's when you really count it. But I got her up to 244 with the KT Exact. So, and fighting her all the way. I mean, had to get her head tilted back, put the syringe in there, tap her beak like she was getting food from her parents. She's trying not to eat, but I got that response going where she started to swallow it fast. So that's an art in itself. Some of them will just take it. You can put a little bit in their beak and they'll swallow it. But with her, you have to really engage her natural it's a behavior that a baby has with its parent. You know, it puts its head back and gulps the food down. That's what I had to engage in her, an innate behavior. I'm just getting quiet to see what happens. See if I flip the camera, I can see if there's any comments I'm missing here. Probably. Yeah, there's no question the man who started it. He knows better than to approach her that way. But she's like witch hazel when you get her going. So it's fun when you're taking her out because she rocks and rolls, turns upside down, flaps her wings, and does everything. She doesn't try to bite me, but she does everything else to try to get out of my hand. The fight's not over. I didn't hear the bell ring. Why are you doing that? What are you doing, Lucy? Cecil bird. So I have encountered a lot of people who they've got personal reasons for not wanting to use an artificial intelligence, but when you can take a picture, this is how good that thing can be. I took a picture of these stupid lights that are in this house. Okay, these are old style LEDs, some of the early stuff, and they're on a printed circuit board, and it's just ancient history anyway. But so I took one down because I had one flickering. The one in the kitchen was flickering, so I took the cowling off. I took a picture of the board, and 2 seconds later, the AI comes back and says the capacitor and the resistor, and it pointed to them. These are both burned. And I looked closer, and I looked really close. Oh, they were both burned out. So I could have stared at that picture for quite a while and not seen it. And as far as the interpretation of what's down there in the poop, I mean, you still need to see a vet. If she gets down to where she's lost 10% of her weight, she's going to a vet. There's just no way out of it. And probably if she were to go down and to start losing again, I'd take her on Saturday. That's the first day I can take her. So get a CBC done, which was recommended by the AI as well, but that's harder for me to do. The vets only open certain days of the week. They do house calls too, but I won't get one of those until next month. So whatever your antipathy is towards using a tool like that, get rid of it. Because if you have let's say when I took a picture of KK's poop and it turned red, and it looked like dye, because he doesn't normally eat the red pieces from the Supreme, right? It looked like dye. But I took a picture of it, and it came back. It said, "This looks like food dye. There's no streaking." It described exactly why it wouldn't be blood. And I mean, if you got a vet next door or one who'll let you send pictures, you can wait an hour or two to get that answer. And then it went away the next day. So he only had I guess he just had an urge to eat one of those red Supreme pellets that day. I think coloring comes from beets anyway, so beets sometimes don't process. But so if you don't like AI, if you're afraid it's going to take over the world, you see Arnold Schwarzenegger every time you see the word ChatGPT. Break that habit when it comes to your bird's health. You can take a picture if there's like a growth on a beak or something. You can take a picture and it can tell you what it is. I mean, it can tell you what it is. if there is no ambiguity to it, then sometimes it could be several things. It'll list them in the order of possibility. So, hello. But it doesn't talk like, well, it talks, but it doesn't talk like KK. Hello, KK. Hello. Hello. A bird? A bird? Hello. Hello. Yeah, if you've got any questions, I think I've wrapped up what I've done. But if you need any clarification, or I have all the clinical books on parrots, from surgery to books on clinical surgery. I have clinical avian medicine. I have the Basava Manual of Citizen Birds. Uh, those are the critical ones on medicine, but I don't have access to all the abstracts that were ever written. I know someone who does, and it's not human. So, so it's not going to give me a bunch of human ifs and ands either. It's going to look at it. It's going to analyze it, and if it has any questions, it'll ask you to take more pictures or whatever. So, yeah. Otherwise, he would have gone to the vet just because I wasn't completely sure. I mean, I was almost sure, but after having it analyzed, I knew that it was just a dye. He would have gone to the vet and probably got taken blood. That's always dangerous. They can get an infection from that, even if it's taken from the nail. Anytime they bleed, you got potential for infection. So, and he's fine. He never, he hasn't lost any weight. He didn't have any other vital signs that were showing a problem. Not eating and losing weight, that's usually a GI problem, but there's other things it could be. One of the things in the analysis was, when you have dark poop, it can be a kidney problem. And I started, without even thinking, I started cause on Batro before I asked ChatGPT, and of course then it's too late. Once you start, you can't stop until you've gone at least 7 days. So, which I was again cautioned, since you started this, don't stop it. But it is a little hard on the kidneys, so at making sure you give plenty of Pedialyte 50/50 solution to make sure that the kidneys don't get dried out. Yeah, are you sure about that?
I suggest we give Keiki the micro so he can talk to the people. Hi, Keiki. Oh, no. No, silent. What a shy boy. Keiki. Now Don's micro is off. Don? You have put your microphone off. Can you hear us? At the moment, I have no idea. You can probably just hear me. Looks also that the picture has stopped. I'm not sure what's going on at the moment. Might be that we have to reconnect. Okay, Don is gone. So let's see if he comes back in. Until then, it's time for a sweet video. Let's see what we have in our box. Oh, that Pippa video. Haven't seen that lately.
We're back, I think.
Yes, you are back. So we just need to focus on you. Excellent.
I've still got some glitches over here. I gotta turn this. Now, can I get the camera facing the right way? Yeah, I hope when I finally get that Starlink up, that'll solve these problems. But I have to get a pole out there. I can't put it on the roof. I got a good look at the roof, and I can't put it up there. So the roof is really just not that thick to be trying to punch a 4-inch lag screw through. So has to go on a pole. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing, KK? Oh, man. All right, I give up trying to turn the camera. That doesn't work right now. What are you doing? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm worried about her too, but she's not. She's not responding to anything. I've tried to contact her and nothing. So, not even a read receipt. Sending when you send a text message, if you're on iMessage, you get a read receipt. But no, nothing. What are you doing up there, Cecil? Yeah, Cecil enjoyed messing with April. He was whacking her with toys. He's good at that. Aren't you, Cecil? What's going on, KK? KK bird. KK bird. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Kiki.
Yeah, I think
Kiki.
what happened, I think StreamYard made some changes, and well, I say that because I've seen some things popping up I've never seen before in StreamYard. So I'm guessing that they made some changes and they aren't working that well. What are you doing?
Kiki.
If I could switch cameras from the front, then I wouldn't mind. But that's a change I could certainly look for. But what
Mm.
are you doing?
Kiki looks so chill. And in the background, I think that's busy Cecil.
Yep.
That's Pippa and even Jasmine is raining. That's cool. Oh, is he only talking when he thinks he is not filmed?
Yeah, he's pretty quiet unless I turn the camera away from him.
Okay, Kiki. But we'll love to hear chatter away. Bra, 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 bra. What a bird? A Kiki bird.
KK Bird? KK Bird? I truly wanted to get Cause out in here, but she'll go after Cecil, no question about it.
Mm.
Not sure about this guy at all. Her and Pippa have a long history. Although outside it was fine, so the problem today is not the temperature. The problem is there's too much fine dust in the air that sticks in your lungs, 2.5 micrograms or less. So much as I wanted to take them out, when you can't see the mountains, you pretty much know it's not going to be good for them. So. And surprisingly, Apple ate the company that makes the weather app that Apple uses now. I even forget the name of the company, but they ate them. But if you look under air quality and you click on it, it'll show you what's in the air that's a problem. Right now, the primary problem is ozone, but there's a lot of carbon dioxide out there too, a lot more than normal. So, and the fine particulate matter. And again, if you can't read it, take a screenshot, send it over to ChatGPT, or DeepSeek can do it too, and have them give you a 2-second analysis of how safe it is for your birds. That way you can learn too what's good and what's bad. That's why we're inside, because you can't. I know you guys can't see anyway because of the UV blocker on the window, but you can't see the mountains. You look out there and it's just a haze past about 100 yards, 200 yards maybe. That's it. After that, it's just hazy sky. Pippa, did you run off with the mountains? Yeah, you're the undercover agent, covering your face up there. Well, There are a lot of busy birds. They just aren't. Well, probably better. He's over there playing like that, but he's trying to get that thing just the angle he wants before he hits me with it. Usually, he's got to get it bent just right. Now, this is something bizarre I noticed this morning. He's been working his beak, and he ground off the side of his beak that goes at an angle. He ground it off himself on the Lixit bottle holder. So he has a normally shaped beak down there, and he did that himself. Amazing. Yeah, amazing. You're going to grow up to be a vet. Yeah. You can be the assistant. I think you'd make a better bouncer at a bar, though. There's a lot of signs you can look for when you have a bird that's getting starting a problem. Um, you look at their food bowl, you see they aren't eating their normal things. That's a big indicator. But there's a lot of other indicators. You always look at the poop, and if you're using newspaper, that can be confusing. So if you have what looks like a problem in the poop, then you can put down this kind of white paper. I get this from Uline, but you put that down. If they poop on it, it's clear. That's newsprint, so it's the best. That's newspaper, not newsprint. There's no print on it. But. So they poop on that, and you can see how much urates are there, how much urine, and the fecal matter is perfect. So the AI can usually filter that stuff out. It can figure out the background, but it's better to make it clear when you got problems developing. So. Other things you can see are like behavior. You got a bird that's usually active and it starts to become more docile. Something's going on. A good example of that was with Lorelei. She's on a maximum dose I want to give her, a Haldol for her feather destructive, but her feathers on her chest just weren't getting any better. No, KK, someone's on the floor. Uh-oh. Are you trying to die? Do you have a death wish? Have you suddenly been taken over by salamander? So I put up blockers because otherwise I'd have to get up at 4:30 in the morning to start getting ready to feed them. Because when you have the sunlight hitting so early, as we do in the summer, so she likes to look out the window, Lorelei does, and so now what I do is I peel away the blocker in the morning and move the curtain so you can see outside. Now her chest looks fine. So the combination of the medicine and her being able to look out and be nosy and watch all the cars, there aren't that many, but cars that go by have made a big difference. So, but I looked back, and that's when she started having more issues. Is when I closed that window. So she's happy now. If I'd been more alert, I would have seen it earlier. But you can't come up here. You don't want to do that. Thank you. Later. You can come up later. Hi, Jazz. Hi, Jasmine. Hello, Cecil. Hello, Cecil bird. The Cecil bird. No, don't do that. And this is one right here who, if you have to open her cage door for any reason, and you don't pet her, she will sit there and look like you killed her dog. You killed her best friend. Yeah, if you forget, then you have to open the cage and pet her, and then, no, you're not coming up here. No, no, you're not doing it. No, no, no. Now, can't you see the way he's looking at you? No. Go over there. Go on. Go on. Up. Go on. Get up there. Get off my leg before he kills you. Go somewhere else. Thank you. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah, she'll mope around if you don't pet her when you open the cage door. So when I'm cleaning the bars of the cage, that kind of thing, I have to do that. I don't mind, of course. When I'm doing it, it's a requirement. It's not just I do it. I do it because that's what she wants. But if I don't do it, then she's going to exhibit behavioral issues. No, no, no. Peppa, right in trouble. Peppa, Peppa, you can wait till later. Later. No, 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 no. Peppa, no, 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 no. Good girl. Good girl. Ah, ah, ah. All right, as long as she doesn't move any closer. I am petting AK, but I'm also keeping an eye on her. And the petting is also so I can stop him if he decides to go charging at her. He probably won't from this distance, but probably. Awfully quiet in here, isn't it, Sugar? Awfully quiet in here. You can almost hear KK when he talks. And another reason you want to take a picture and have it analyzed is because when you go to the vet, you have something that you can show the vet as far as the picture goes, and then you have an idea what to discuss. If it's possible there's a liver involvement in there, you might want a liver panel. At at a loss of 3.3% weight, though, that's a little early to do that. So, but anytime you expose their blood to the air, you're taking a chance. When I was younger, I had that's a long time ago when I was young. There was a guy I knew who was a salesman, and he went in for some simple procedure, and they gave him a spinal tap. He was dead the next day. staph infection. So they don't make a point of telling you that kind of thing because they don't want you afraid of hospitals. But there's a lot of potential for disease in those places. And there's bacteria in the air that could get into their bloodstream. So you want to have a good idea of what you're facing before you call the vet. You don't want to wait that long either. So you're walking a tightrope, aren't you, Pip Pip? You asleep over there or what? Yawning? I'm surprised you sneezed after that. I don't know, guys. You want to talk? Huh? Do you want to talk? Yeah. I think Amy's falling asleep. If there's any questions, I'd be glad to answer them if I can.
No questions in chat. Actually, pretty calm in chat today. Just Kristen is here and told me about her cockatoo Kelly, who likes her to play fetch with her. That's really cute.
Have to get that cockatoo and Snowball together. They can play that back and forth.
It looks like she likes to play fetch with metal measuring spoons.
Well, I'm sure that Snowball would get involved. He'll play anytime he gets a chance to play a game.
And she likes the noise of it. It makes the most noise. Oh, Ellen, yeah, that's also with me. I did a lot of work in the garden today, and now I'm just really tired. We also have weather swing, so it was basically bright sky this afternoon, and now it's all raining, and the temperature drops. So basically, mentally heading already to bed.
It'll be long until they decide to get terribly busy. Right now, the only busy ones are Cecil and well, even Mr. KK isn't that busy right now.
No, he's a cuddly boy, just snuggling with his daddy, not talking much. I wonder if the hedgehogs show up when it's raining. I have the feeling they also do not like to get wet.
Ah, you brought that up. Wet. I've been dealing with these. You buy these spray bottles. They're $10 a piece, and then you have to move your finger up and down forever. And I got 12 birds here. And trying to get them all wet. Well, I came up with an idea, and I wanted to make sure that it wouldn't be a problem. So I checked with ChatGPT. And so anyway, what I have now are these pressure garden sprayers, and it does a great job. It's a fine mist, and I can spray them down in about 30 seconds and move on to the next bird. So it takes me less than 10 minutes to spray all the birds.
I don't know why I
Cool.
didn't. I use these garden sprayers for all kinds of things, but
We have just Lisa Banerjee joining us. So welcome, Lisa. Maybe we get a picture of Cecil for you. Cecil, say hi to Lisa. She's leader of the Cecil fan club. What a cute boy.
say
They are
hello.
also calm and docile. Maybe we get Manda back in the room to have some action.
Well, he's been a little bit off with me since I took away the toy. I bought a few more of those balls, but he's figured out how to pull them apart in less than a minute. So when he started ripping it apart, I just took it away from him. I'm going to cement it together. Glue won't work, but cement will. Once I figure out what type of plastic it is, I just have to test that. Maybe that mixture ABS PVC combo cement will work. But these, the way they're snapped together, so he knows how they're put together. You hand him one, and he just turns it into pieces in no time at all. Don't you? I'd like you to play with it for a while before you break it.
Well, Lisa, don't worry. She writes that she was missing the lives because she's babysitting her great grandbaby. That's awesome. I hope Rico behaves.
Sounds like a job for Super Rico.
Mm.
You're just gonna, yeah. You heard your name, didn't you? So, what in the world's going on? I don't trust putting it back on my headphones. We're almost done anyway, but I hope we don't have it crash again next time. This is the second time StreamYard has crashed on us. So. Well, thanks everybody for being here. Thanks Amy for moderating and Eleanor for lurking, and Sugar there.
Oh, magnificent sugar.
See how she's starting to get animated. Well, yeah, we're all gonna wake up now. So I tried to fool them before by bringing them in early, like an hour early. It doesn't work. They'll play, and then as soon as I start doing this, they start sitting there doing nothing. And then as soon as I put the phone down, boy, they're off again. Right, Shug? Well, thanks, guys, for being here. And thank you, Amy, for moderating. And Viva to see you soon next week.
Yeah. Have all a good time. Thanks for coming. Thanks for doing the live stream and showing us the birds. And if you have any further question on poopology, you can always write comments or an email. You're welcome. Whatever you like to do. We're always happy to hear from you. Otherwise, we see you hopefully next Monday.
Next Monday, folks.
Science knowledge only adds to the excitement, the mystery, and the awe of a flower.
Evidence is evidence. It's public. Everybody can look at the evidence and assess it, and eventually, if there's enough evidence, come to the same conclusion.
The Chloe Sanctuary for Parrots and Cockatoos, a nonprofit charity dedicated to the empowerment of captive parrots and public awareness.